Good morning everyone. Welcome to the English class for 10th standard. This class is for First Flight book chapter 3. Now chapter 3 is stories about flying. Stories about flying means we have two stories about flying in this chapter, and this chapter is therefore divided into two parts. The first part is a story of flying about a young seagull, a bird, to whom this talent of flying is very natural. And the second part of this story is about the first flight of an aeroplane. Now, you're right to guess that the book is named The First Flight because of this chapter or because of these stories about flying. They have taken the name of the book from this content. Now, in this particular video, I'll be taking up the first part of chapter 3, which is the story of flying of a young seagull, the first flight of the young seagull. Now, the central idea of this story is how to conquer your fears and to attain what is a nature's gift to you. Right? It's a nature's gift, but to procure it, to practice it, we still need a certain amount of dedication and determination to enjoy those gifts of nature. Now, in your book, Two Stories About Flying is given on page number 32. Now, the first is his first flight, that's the seagull's first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty. Before we read, in the introduction of the chapter, we are given that from times immemorial, it has been an effort of the humankind to be able to freely fly in the air. And owing to that, we had the discovery of airplanes, right? Now, to birds, it is very natural. Still, the seagull fears flight. How is that? And how is his parents and his siblings try hard to make him take that first flight? That is what we are going to study in this chapter. How that young seagull is afraid to fly and how finally he takes up that flight. Now, this young seagull is in a family of 5 members. He has 2 brothers, 1 sister, and out of those 3, 2 are younger to him. And then there is a set of birds which are parents to the seagull. Now the parent bird, they decide that this is time for their children or for their young ones to take their first flights. They live on a ledge. Now what is a ledge? Ledge is a protruding part of a hill or a mountain towards outside. Means from the base of the mountain, when one edge is protruding outside, that part is known as ledge. There are some other meanings that will come up in the book and you will be reading it when you go through the text. That's ledge, upbraiding, skim, herring, preening, wet, derisively, dizzy, curveting, etc. Meanings are given side by side in the book itself, so I would like you to go through those before you go to the reading. So yes, they lived on a ledge. Below that ledge there was vast stretched sea. So the parents decided that they will take their young ones one by one to the edge and they would ask them to move ahead to take their first flight. Now, 2 brothers of this young seagull and 1 sister, they did as they were told by their parents. They took the flight outside of that ledge and they were able to manage their flight. Their wings stretched and then they started flying. But when it was the turn of this young seagull, who was last because of his fear. He was so scared, he did not want to leave that ledge. He felt he would go and drown in that sea, and his wings are not going to support him. He was pretty sure about that. His parents tried very hard with him. They scolded him, they coaxed him, They talked with immense love. They emotionally tried to influence him, but none of these things worked on this young seagull. Finally, after trying so hard, the parents decided to leave the ledge and the seagull on that ledge and move elsewhere. Now, where was that elsewhere? That elsewhere was a bit far away from this ledge on a plateau. So, three kids and these set of parents, they moved to a nearby ledge or another plateau, and from there they saw that if the young seagull will be hungry, definitely he's going to take the flight, so we'll monitor him from here. Though they had given him this bait of hunger that we are not going to feed you if you don't take first flight, had not worked earlier. But now they were hoping that when he's very hungry, he will not have any option and he will have to take the flight. But the young seagull does not move. Whereas in the meanwhile, his brothers and sister, they are learning various tactics of flight. They are also learning to uh, swim in the sea below. One of the brothers of this young seagull has also caught his first prey as an insect and has fed him, has himself taken the food for to feed his stomach. Now, young seagull was looking at all this. He also mustered up the courage, he gathered up the courage, but it was never enough to make him move out of the ledge, leaving it. Now they were all resting there. His father was preening his feathers. The kids were flying all over and they were playing with each other. The mother was tearing a part of fish flesh to feed the family. When the young seagull saw that my mother is tearing a part of fish flesh and she is the only member of my family who is still noticing me, who is still looking at me, whereas my father and my siblings have already stopped noticing me. So he hoped that the mother is going to bring him the food. Thankfully, she took the flight towards the young seagull with that flesh in her beak. Now, young seagull was very happy. He thought that my mother is definitely going to feed me with this. But unfortunately, when she came near the ledge, she moved away from him. Now, this really hurt the young seagull. He was very tired, he was exhausted, he was hungry for past one day. And now also a person whom he trusted so much, the mother, did not bring food for him. She moved away. Again he saw the mother is coming near to him. Now he thought maybe that time my mother thought I would fly, but now she will definitely come and give. Now she tried to keep the flesh as a bait, as a trap for her child. She took it very near to the ledge, very near to her baby, and when the young seagull leapt on the flesh, he accidentally left the ledge. He thought that he is going to manage it with his feet on the ledge, but he could not. He has to left he had to leave the ledge to take that flesh. Now he was off the ledge, he was falling down on the sea. He felt as if all of a sudden everything has turned black and I will definitely fall and die. Mother was anyhow happy that he's left the ledge and he's going to learn to fly now. What happens is, a moment later, the young seagull also discovers his ability to fly. In that atmosphere of blacking out, he realized all of a sudden that his wings have flapped out and they are flapping against the wind. Instead of going down, he's rising up. And he felt delighted that he's no more falling down. He's on his own in the air. And by this time, his father and all his siblings, they were flying around him. They were all praising him for his first flight. They were all motivating him. Now they took him down to the sea. His brothers and sister tried to make him swim and float on the water as well, which he was again afraid, but not as much as he was to take the flight. Now he was made to dip his feet in the water of the sea there. When he dipped his feet, he felt that the feet have drowned. But then, when his stomach touched the water, he felt that again he's no more going down, but he's floating effortlessly and freely on the surface of the sea. And this is how the natural ability of birds, which his parents were so afraid that their son is not taking up, came to this young seagull. Now, his parents were worried so much because they knew what is the life of a bird without flight. Anybody and everybody is going to harm him. Even if not harm is not there, then he is going to be starving to death without flight. So they tried hard, and finally, the mother was successful in her idea to get him begin his flight. And this is how we need a lot of determination and dedication, even to bring out the best in us, even to bring out the natural attitude of our own. This is all about the story. This is the message that the story gives. And moving forward with this chapter, we will be discussing the question answers in our group. By that time, I will be sending you some notes and the link to this video so that you can be thorough with this. I would remind you, dear students, only listening to the video is not enough. You really need to read the text line by line, not once but at least twice, so that you understand it thoroughly and you are ready for the question answers. Thank you.